Hi all, welcome to educators.com. I'm Harish, software engineer. In this session, we will learn about how to set up dev environment. As we need a browser to run the JavaScript, you can install any browser on your system like Mozilla, Chrome, etc. We also need an IDE where we can write, modify and save the code. Browsers like Mozilla Chrome provide developer tools which can be used to improve their applications in terms of debugging, adjusting the styles, responsiveness, performance, etc. Before getting into IDE, let's explore on the developer options provided by Mozilla. In Mozilla, you can open the developer tools by right-clicking and selecting the inspect element, or by clicking the three-line menu icon and selecting the developer tab. Here you can see the different developer tool options provided by Mozilla. To open the developer tool window, you need to select the toggle tools option. Here you can see the different options provided by Mozilla. You can enable or disable these options by selecting the settings icon. Here you can see that some of the options are disabled and some are enabled. If you want to enable some options, you can select them, or if you want to disable those options, you can deselect them. So let's start with Inspector. In Inspector, you can analyze what HTML has been rendered and what styles are affected to this HTML. You can select the HTML related to an element, image or paragraph by right-clicking on the element and selecting the option Inspect Element, or else using the selector. You can add DOM node to this selected HTML element by clicking on the plus icon. Here at the bottom, you can see the breadcrumb where it will show the hierarchy from top of the root element to the currently selected element. You can reposition the elements by drag and drop. Here in the right pane, you can see the different sections related to the HTML. Like in the rules section, you can see the different styles affecting the HTML element, like starting with the affected styles and following the overridden styles and then the browser styles. Here in the computer tab, you can check the final styles applied to the HTML element. And coming to fonts, here you can check different font styles which are applied within this HTML element. In the box model, you can check what's the margin, border and the padding, including the height and width of the element. In the animations section, you can play and pause the animations if there are any animations defined on this HTML element. We have a EV button at the end of the HTML tag. This defines which are the events binded to this HTML tag. So this is all about the inspector. Coming to console. Here in the console, it is all used to log the messages related to network, CSS, JavaScript, security, logging and server. Here it also provides some command line where you can enter the JavaScript. If you want to delete all the messages, you can use a delete icon. So coming to debugger. The debugger is used to debug the JavaScript code. It will be helpful when you want to find out the error or the data flow within the JavaScript code. It also provides options to verify the code. Like now here you can see that the code is in deminified form. If you want to convert this code into a readable format, you can use the option called verify source. If you want to disable the debugging into a library or a JavaScript file, you can use the toggle blackboxing option. If you want to disable or enable breakpoints on the selected JavaScript file, you can use the third option, like enabling all breakpoints or disabling all breakpoints. If you want to add a breakpoint, just right click on the line number and select the option Add Breakpoint. You can also add conditional breakpoint, like you want to hit this breakpoint only when certain condition is met or when a value is true. This will be helpful so that you don't want to stop each and every flow at code flow. Here in the top, it provides some options like pausing the debugger, step over, step into, and step out. Step over is used when you want to jump from current line to the next line. Step into is used to have in-depth debugging, whereas step out is used to come out of the current scope. We also have third pane called where you can add watch expressions and also check out the events related to the script. Coming to style editor, here you can check the list of style sheets affecting this web page. You can add a style sheet, or you can import a style sheet, or you can change the existing style sheets and save those files. You can also disable the style sheets. Here in the right pane, you can check the different media rules. Media rules are used to add responsiveness to the web applications. So if there are any media rules defined within the style sheet, it will be shown in the right pane. Coming to network. Here you can check different requests made by browser to the server, like what's the status of the message and which method is being used, and what's the actual request, and to which domain it has been made, and what kind of request it is, and how much data has been transferred, and the size of the file, and the time it took to load the resource. You can also filter by selecting the option like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. You can delete all these requests by clicking on the delete icon. Here in the right you can see the summary of requests, like how many requests are made and what's the total size and how much time it took to load the resources. There is also one option called performance analysis. Here it will be loading without a cache, and the second time with cache. Here you can check the performance of your web application. It's like which files are taking more time to load and why the files are getting loaded at second time. Is all you can check it over here. This is all about the network. Coming to storage. Here we can check what are all the storage options provided by the browser and which storage options have been used by the web application. And coming to Scratchpad. Here you can execute the bunch of JavaScript code, where you can open a file containing the JavaScript code, save that file with the changes, or if you want to save the file with a different name, you can use the save as option. So let's look into what are the different options like run, inspect, and display. Run is something like executing the JavaScript code. Whatever you write in the Scratchpad, it will be executed. Like I'm writing a console message called hello world. When I select the option run, it will be logging this message into the console. See, the hello world message has been logged into console. So coming to inspect. Inspect is also similar to run, but the difference is it will inspect the object written by the executing of JavaScript code. Like, let's say we have a window object. On selecting the inspect option, in the right window, it will be showing the properties related to the window object. So here you can find out what are the properties associated with the window object. And display. Display option is used when you want to see the output of the executed JavaScript within the Scratchpad. So coming to pretty print, it's also similar what we have seen in the debugger, like restructuring the JavaScript in a more readable format. The DOM inspector is used to inspect, browse, and edit the DOM. So these are some of the options provided by Mozilla. We'll be using these options as in the coming later sessions. Coming to Brackets.io. Brackets.io is an open source editor. It provides options like inline editors, where we can check the styles related to a particular element in inline window using shortcut key Ctrl+C. Live preview, making the browser window in sync with the changes made in CSS and HTML. It also provides a preprocessor support for lessons as files. We also have an extension manager where it provides different extensions in the brackets. Some of the extensions like Beautify, File Icons, Git, Autoprefixer, and W3C validation. So here is how the brackets look like. Here are the files which are related to the project, and here are some of the options. Here at the right it will be showing the browser sync option using the live preview and also the extension manager. So that's all from this session. Thank you.